Hello, darlings. You're welcome back to the channel. It's another morning. The fourth weekend in Big Brother's house. It's going to be the Saturday in our party. They're going to have the exercise this morning and a whole lot of other gossip and chitty chatty. And y'all know that I'm going to bring it to your screens. So, of course, make sure you watch this video till the end. In this particular video, I'm going to indicate to you the new twist that Big Brother brought into the punishment scheme, which I like. I would indicate to you the housemates who are sabotaging themselves, thinking that they are actually playing the best games. And I feel at this point we need to talk about it, because housemates we expect to do better are not even giving. Anyways, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell button beside for notification on every post I make. Give this video a thumbs up, share, comments down below, and also share this video so that more people can get to see. It might be something very minute for you, but it means a lot to me, and I'm grateful. Now, is it just me, or did you notice that the parrots did not expose anything yesterday? And now this was because Big Brother had to handle the housemate himself. But something in the end actually gave me peace of mind, because I was like, Ike deserves either a disqualification or at least 2 strikes. He was giving 1 strike, and Big Brother now added the fact that if he survives eviction on Sunday, he's going to get a grievous punishment. Aside that, every other housemate were given stern warnings that from now on, for every rule and regulation that they falter, they would get punished. And I mean, Big Brother should start stepping up his game to, copy to strikes or whatever you call it. Now, moving on from that, the first housemate I would say is sabotaging their game, thinking they're playing the best game, is Frodd. Now, why do I say Frodd? First off, we saw that Frodd started on a very light note, one of the people not to give any mind when you're considering housemates that were, really in the game, right? But then his friendship with Seyi began blooming in our faces beyond what they had before, and we loved it. It was beautiful. But over time, it is seeming as though he's now working or blossoming under the umbrella of Seyi, and that is not what people want a game to be like. And in a country that we like to talk about men, women, most people are disappointed that he's running under the wings of a woman. And the fact that Seyi is threatening and pointing out the fact that she would like to have lights out with him, be careful, Frodd. Because you might, this your marriage will never even reach 2 years. And the second housemate I would say is self-sabotaging himself, although he's playing quite a good game, is Kiddwaya. Now, the fact that he wants to be a villain of the season, and he's playing that to an extent and doing good at the job. The part of self-sabotage comes from the fact that he is indirectly, as much as he had told us in one of the tasks, that people are misunderstanding him because he comes from a wealthy family and people feel that he doesn't put in the work and everything. From the first day, in just the first 10 minutes of coming into Big Brother's house, he made a statement to CeeC, I think it's CeeC, that he would give her the 120 million and he can leave the show. At the task 2 days ago for the money point with Ilebaye, he cheated her. Now, although the both of them had faults, he cheated her and then kept shouting that, you know what, the money is not even important to me. I can give you that money if it stuff me too much and stuff like that. Over time, we've seen him make statements like that. The money is not important to him. He's just here to market his brand. You're trying to market your brand and you're trampling on people, yet you're marketing your brand to the public. The public are sentimental. The moment you start doing that so much, they begin to lose interest and feel you're coming off as a tyrant. And that's just what he's doing. Now, from the onset of the game of the Big Brother show, this is week 4, one of the few persons who came close to be in the category of those I would say are my favorites, if I were to announce that, is Alex. Now, this is because of how I perceived her fight with CeeC. I was rather on her own side, I must confess. And I feel like she has done her best to try to blend with people more. But in recent days, her friendship with Seyi and most of these other guys who are causing a lot of problems is making her lose touch of the fact that being friends, the budding friendship between her and Ilebaye is supposed to be her saving grace to push her to the top. Now, the last conversation she had with, what's his name, Cross, after the punishments last night in the lounge, she was talking about how Ilebaye self is very disrespectful. Ilebaye is troublesome. She's causing trouble up and down everywhere. And Cross was like, but she's a small girl. And then Alex was like, when I was 21 years old, I was not like that. I was not disrespectful and stuff. And I needed to ask this question. Is Big Brother a show of who respects age and experience, or a show where people are taking as equals and you play the best game to get to the finals? Because I don't understand where this nonsense sense of entitlement, of respect is coming from. Because if you need to dissect it, Ilebaye has shown enough respect to many of them. So Alex, watch out. The next housemate I would like to speak on, although she's many people's favorite, at the beginning of the show, she would be one of the ladies I was literally drawn to. And it's been 4 weeks, right? We've seen how she has showed off the fact that she has 2 daughters. She has achieved so much in her entertainment line. She has done 1 or 2 things, worked with Pere and all the 9 yards. But one thing that I have seen with her is a great level of self-sabotage. Let's start from the first one. Basically, right, I've always said that when you insult each other, when you fight, right, there are boundaries you do not cross. One of them is when you insult somebody or expose them publicly with private issues that happen to them that they had told you, right? But here is Venita insulting and dragging Pere after they fought during that particular task. If I can remember, they had a task and he was being authoritative and controlling. And she went upstairs to talk to Ike, and from there she was shouting and insulting him. Now she said he was not 38, that this guy is like 40 something, or is he 52, that his real age, he's lying about it. She went on to say he's just a beggy. He had begged for flight tickets. He didn't even have the money to come to the show. She went on to indicate that, how do I put it? She said that women use him up and down in Lagos. Young women, old women, they would use him and dump him. They'll be chasing him out of his house. Basically, what she's saying is that he takes the walk of shame anytime he is going to go and service women. They use him and dump him. She went on to say that he was sent out of the military and that she had receipts for all these things. And if he was ready to go all crazy, she was going to expose him. She moved on from there to, in quote, loving up with Adekunle, which is beautiful. We like to see a beautiful ship, be it with a single mother and a younger boy. We do not care. But why would you move from there to go and slut shame Angel to Somadina, her own love interest, when nobody has sabotaged you to your own? You're telling him that he should stop chasing her the way he's chasing her. No man will do that. That the only men that would even do that are in those who do it in secrecy, and that he really knows why now, hinting on her being for the streets, which was rather disgusting. And then moving on to the last one, you see when somebody is being a tyrant and outrightly wicked to a fellow human being, to a fellow woman, and you sat down there and laughed about it. This is a reference to Ike vandalizing Ilebaye's properties. And then, I don't understand. Venita she's vile. And she comes off as very evil. And I'm disappointed. She doesn't know that with this attitude, she's self-sabotaging herself. Moving on from that, the next housemate who has self-sabotaged himself is Seyi. And let's start it like this, right? When people use the word practice what you preach, this is somebody who really, really needs to practice what he preaches. And this comes off as, from the beginning of the show, he had told us that he's a family man. The most important things to him is his family, his wife, and his son. He wants to make the right examples for his son, that when his son watches the show, he'll say, yes, that's my father. He said he is a man of culture, value, and respect. And then when any other housemates, especially the young ones, now in that category is Ilebaye, Angel, and Doyin, when they act or do things that seemingly is their age, or they act or do things that every other housemate would naturally do, he goes out to insult them, saying their parents did not give them home training, their generation are stupid, their lineage is this, their family is that, and every other thing. Now, this was something he spoke about Ilebaye countless times, that at the end of the show, he would meet her parents and tell them that he did a bad job at raising their child. Now, we all know that not every one of us, most of us, are not exactly doing everything our parents will want us to do. He is in that category. But when you're claiming to be cultural and stuff and this and that, and then you call the girl disrespectful, was there a rule in Big Brother's house that you would respect people who are older in age? If you want respect, leave the show and go and demand for respect from your family, right? But the fact that he can be this disgusting, vile, and evil at the same time, he has lost every value that he thinks he actually has. And come to think of it, the 2 weeks that he escaped elimination just shows how he is the bottom of the bottom. That's just what it is, right? And then the last fight he had with Doyin over drinks. I thought your dad or your generation or your family, extended family, has money. I thought you're a celebrity and you act movies. So why drinks? Why would you go and steal drinks and hide and still be fighting a woman over it? Like, I'm just so I don't want to sound vile and stuff or pained, but this guy is just destroying himself by himself. And to think that I almost liked this particular housemate at some point in this season. Now, I had never really been drawn to Pere, because if there's one thing Africans, Nigerians, or the average man does not like, is being a tyrant, or being someone who would trample on others, right? Or being controlling. Now, controlling is the definition of whom Pere is. And then during the last 2 or 3 tasks where they were told to say something nice to themselves, to oneself, self-affirmation and stuff, write a story or a self-affirmation letter to yourself. And then Pere told his story, that how his mom was a single mother, their father left them and stuff, they had to struggle this and that. And I'm like, oh, now I see where you were really hurt for you to be, in quotes, this tough. But it seems like it is rather a brokenness. He was just broken, low self-esteem, and the lack of a father that actually caused him to be like this. And then I began to like him. But then the same Pere of his own season doubled up to be worse this season. This season, he has gone outrightly to control and shout and be domineering over many housemates. He did that to Venita. He did that to Adekunle. He often does that indirectly or directly to Ilebaye, while still forming that he is a friend. And then he goes at her back and says the vilest things, like calling her a bitch. I was disappointed. You've done that more than 3 times. The last was yesterday when they plotted on the evils they were going to do against Ilebaye. And then even after Big Brother has dished out his punishment, instead of him to feel remorseful, he said he does not feel remorse, that it is a game. If that Big Brother found what he did wrong, Big Brother would have punished him. I'm like, oh, you think the show is all about Big Brother? It is those who are at home who are actually the ones who are going to control your life, in quote, or what you gain from Big Brother after the show. He keeps saying how they're disrespectful, small girls, their mouth is moving anyhow. That is Angel, Doyin, Ilebaye. But yet he cannot stand stand up to Venita, yet he cannot stand up to CeeC. This is the typical man that cannot stand up to his match of a woman. He just finds the ones whom he feels can be weak and he can trample upon them. And he doesn't know that's just what he's doing, sabotaging his game. The last but not the least, it's obviously Ike. Ike came to the show. We were thinking it was going to be a different Ike who is now more matured, who is now going to seek a genuine ship and maybe reconcile with Mercy Eke. But then it wasn't that. He came to show us even more dirty attitude about him. Now, this started with the fight over food, the stealing of people's properties and food just to satisfy himself. He doesn't know that when he leaves the show, people will reduce how they do business with him, reduce how they relate with him, or let him into their personal space, because they know that this guy could steal from them and then go against them in the long run. There's one person Ike cares about, himself and only himself. He fights over food with housemates. He steals their food. He tries to be controlling, yet calling most people disrespectful and childish and stupid. Now, of course, just like Seyi, his core people that he's against are Angel, Ilebaye, doing ladies who want to stand up for themselves, but yet they consider them the underdogs. Ike, the same one that your girl, Mercy Eke, said, you're so dirty you don't even flush your toilet. You're so dirty you don't even clean your butt after pooping. You eat like a nasty ass pig, cha, 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 with your mouth that never closes. The same Ike, you keep saying that, oh, you cannot thrive in a space without chaos. Are you sure when you see chaos, you can actually survive it? Because that's the main question. Anyways, Big Brother was lenient on Ike yesterday because there are two things he deserved: 2 strikes or a disqualification. Because in the history of Big Brother, I don't think anybody has been this vile and outrightly evil. He's not actually remorseful, because when they were watching the clip, he folded his leg behind Ilebaye and there was no movement. Of course, any other thing he would have done would have been fake, but at least you were supposed to have shown an effort. I'm hoping that the effort will come through, but just like Kiddwaya, Seyi and Pere's on, I don't think it would. This guy actually thinks he's having a game, like there are fans that are supporting him, basically. But if you even have fans, it will be only vile people like you. And that's just what it is. Learn to fix your attitude. But of course, these are just my opinions. For a show that demands that housemates come and be themselves, most people have changed this game into a game of being vile and evil and toxic. And that is what Big Brother was saying yesterday, that you should understand that outside the show, there is a life to live. So a lot of you come to the comment section to want to say, oh, these guys are playing the best games. But that's not what's supposed to be. Nah, be yourself. Of course, there are the parts of us that are bad, but outrightly going to plan and execute evil against somebody, come on, it's not supposed to be so. So of course, like I said, this is my opinion. If you have otherwise, you can share the comment section below, and we can talk about it and go on at each other, but don't be insultive. Of course, thank you for always being in my videos, watching them till the end. I'm going to see you on the next one, because today it's about to go down.